It was raining hard, and Roman was currently driving his car when he saw a woman who was standing beside the school near his own company. The girl was waiting for a Jeep or tricycle to pass by to bring her home, but it looks like there is no Jeep or tricycle passing because of the heavy rain, so he stopped the car in front of the lady to offer help.
Miss, do you need help? It's raining hard. If you don't mind, I'll bring you home.
Carmina paused for a moment, thinking if she would go with the tall, pointed nose, reddish lips, and slightly narrow-eyed stranger standing in front of her because she didn't know this very handsome guy, and she didn't have any idea if the man might do a terrible thing to her.
No thanks, mister. I'm fine.
Would someone pick you up here?
Roman asked with his usual formal face.
None, but I'll just wait for the tricycle, sir.
Roman looked around, but he didn't see a passing tricycle that the woman could take to bring her home.
Sorry to say, miss, but it looks like there's no tricycle passing to bring you home. Hey, if you think I would do something disrespectful to you, you're wrong. I just want to help you, and that's it. I'm not going to harm you or take advantage of you. It's raining heavy, and trust me, if you still wait here, maybe you'll be home by tomorrow.
Carmina looked around, realizing that the man was right and she didn't have a choice, so even though she wasn't comfortable going with the stranger in front of her, she just nodded, accepting Roman's offer to bring her home.
Thank you, mister.
They both got into Roman's car, but silence remained as they traveled until Roman spoke first.
It's nice to meet you, miss. My name is Roman,
said the man while his eyes were fixed on their way.
I'm Carmina. Again, thank you for this ride, sir.
Carmina sparingly smiled.
You're welcome, Carmina. And please, don't call me sir. Just call me by my name.
Roman said seriously. Their conversation continued until they reached Carmina's house, so she got out of the car and thanked Roman before she entered their house. When she entered their house, there was no one there, so she just went inside her room because she was tired of teaching her students all day at school. Carmina is a public school teacher in their town, and yes, at first she didn't want to be a teacher because her chosen course in college was medicine, but she thought that medicine would take 10 long years for her to finish it, and she didn't want to study that long. She took a teaching course. She has grown to love her job and, of course, her students as time has passed, because, despite her previous failure to become a doctor, she has now found true happiness and love in teaching. The next day, Carmina woke up early to prepare for another day of teaching, and after she had prepared herself and her things, she waited for a tricycle to take her to the school where she is currently teaching. She had a car, but unfortunately, it wasn't in a good condition right now. That's why she was waiting for a tricycle last night, when a handsome man helped her to get home. Carmina is the only daughter of the present mayor in their town, Carmina Santiago, yet she remained to be simple and ordinary girl because for her, power must be used for the good of all, not for the self-interest which her mother and father taught her. After she came to school, she went straight to her classroom where her students were waiting for her. Like her usual days, she spent her whole day teaching, checking the work of her students and making another lesson plan for the next day. When she had finished all of it, Carmina decided to go to her usual place when she wanted to watch the sunset, and when she came there, she sat on a chair and she took a special photo from her bag, which Carmina looked at. It was the picture with the only man who made her feel love, who made her feel special, but everything changed when Dylan, Carmina's previous relationship, reconnected with his college first love. At first it was okay, everything was fine even though Dylan saw his first love and Carmina was with him when he saw her again because that day was their 20th month. Sari and Carmina and her boyfriend was about to order their foods in their favorite restaurant when a tall, beautiful girl accidentally bumped to Dylan, and when he looked at her and they smiled to each other, Carmina thought that everything between her ex-boyfriend and his first love began again. After the girl left the restaurant, Dylan confirmed to Carmina that the woman was his ex-girlfriend, his first love. From that day on, Carmina gradually felt that Dylan's treatment of her was getting colder, and, even though Carmina was hurt, she chose to hold on to their relationship because she loved him and she knew in herself that she couldn't afford to lose Dylan in her life. He became Carmina's world. She gave him her heart. He was Carmina's first love, but she never thought that Dylan was also the first man who would shatter her heart into pieces. Carmina didn't realize that her tears were dripping as she looked at the photo of herself with the first man she loved, and even now that a year had passed since he broke up with her, the pain was still fresh in Carmina's heart because she loved him so much. Carmina loved him so much, but it was not enough. She was not enough for Dylan because his heart still belongs to his ex, to his first love. The sun was setting and Carmina was still crying when a tall, handsome man approached her and handed her a handkerchief. When she looked at him, he just gave her a formal look before he turned his gaze to the setting sun.
Thank you.
The man looked at Carmina for a moment again before he spoke and looked back at the setting sun.
Do you know how beautiful to watch sunset?
Carmina looked at the man until she realized that the one who was talking to her was Roman, the stranger who helped her last night. Carmina didn't answer, and she just waited what Roman would say next.
Like the sun, it sets when the night approaches to give way to darkness. But you know what is important after a long night? There will always be a sunrise, and it symbolizes hope. Another day, another morning for us to live. I don't know why you're crying, why there's a pain in your eyes, but one thing is for sure, everything is passing. Look at the sunset. It is setting because the day is done and he's leaving this day because there is another tomorrow.
Carmina wiped her tears before she spoke.
Why are you telling me that? I mean, you do not even know me.
Roman released a deep breath before answering the girl.
Because I saw you crying and I saw the pain in your eyes. You know what, Carmina? You're beautiful. Everyone deserves to be happy, especially a gorgeous woman like you.
Carmina took a deep breath before she looked at him and sparingly smiled, and Roman, after seeing that smile, his heart beats fast.
Thank you, Roman. And thank you again for bringing me home last night.
It's nothing. Don't worry, from now on, you can consider me as your friend. If you want someone to talk with, you can count on me.
Thank you again, Roman.
Carmina smiled at him again, and from that day, their journey together began. After a few months of being together, when Carmina felt that she was okay, she finally moved on from her previous relationship. Roman started to court her because after knowing Carmina more, he fell in love with her, and he can say that Carmina really changed him into a better man than he was. Carmina had changed him into a man he thought he could never be. From a boy who always played with the girls, who never believed in love, and from the most chick boy before, to a man who can do everything to win the heart of the girl who made him feel in love, who taught him to smile again after so long he always been cold and serious, and to the only woman who can make his heart beat fast. Carmina had just finished her last class when she was surprised because when she came out of her room, Roman was already there waiting for her with a bouquet of flower at his right hand. Roman gave the bouquet to her and she accepted it.
Thank you, it's my favorite flower.
She smiled at him, and after Roman saw that smile on her lips, he put his hand on his chest because his heart was beating fast again.
By the way, what are you doing here? I thought you'll be busy today.
Roman didn't respond right away because he was stunned for a moment by the beautiful face of the girl, and only Carmina's tap brought him back to the present.
Hey, are you okay?
Roman averted his eyes from the woman, and he nodded at her.
Oh, of course. I just came here to pick you up.
He stuttered while he said those words.
Thank you, but you don't need to. I can go home and I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy.
Roman shook his head and smiled sparingly at the girl.
You never bother me, Carmina. Come on, please let me do this because every moment with you are the happiest times of my life.
He looked at Carmina's eyes, while his eyes were telling her that she was the only woman who could make him happy. When Carmina saw that Roman's eyes were full of truth and affection for her, she was taken aback for a moment, finding the words to say because she was also carried away by the beautiful eyes of the man who never failed to make her feel loved and beautiful.
Thank you, Roman. I appreciate all of your efforts.
I'm glad that you do. But you don't have to thank me because I love what I'm doing and I will never get tired of seeking your love. And if it is okay with you, I have one more request. Can I invite you to Isla Alonso tomorrow? It's Mama's birthday and she wanted to celebrate her birthday there.
Carmina nodded.
She texted me a while ago. I will.
Really? Maybe I should thank her for texting you because now you can't refuse my invitation.
Roman said with a smile at his lips. Yes, with a smile at his lips, because when he started to fall in love with Carmina, he had learned to smile again. The day after Roman invited Carmina to his mom's birthday, he picked up the lady from her house early in the morning to go to Isla Alonso.
Hi.
They deliberately left early because the trip to the island owned by Roman's family was quite far from the province where they both lived, and it would take 3 to 4 hours before they arrived at the said place. While the two of them were traveling, they just talked as if they never ran out of stories to share with each other until they reached Isla Alonso. Carmina was amazed at the unparalleled beauty of Isla Alonso after she got out of the car, and while she was observing the beautiful view of the island, Roman was just staring at her like she was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen in his life. He is really changed, because if he used to look at many women when he was a playboy and the most chick boy Roman before, he could only stare at Carmina like that now, the only girl who had changed and made the heart of Roman Leonardo Alonso Villaroman beat fast.
Is there something on my face?
Carmina asked when she caught the man staring at her. Roman averted his eyes from her and shook his head, feeling ashamed because he was caught again by the girl he was staring at.
No. It's nothing. Sorry, I just can't take my eyes off you.
He replied while looking at the beach in front of them. In his mind, he wanted to hit himself because he is also innovating himself for the reason that he is used to be the man that women look at with amazement because of his good looks and elegance. Added the fact that he is really tall and any clothes he wears suited him perfectly, but now he's the one chasing and looking at the woman who he admired the most.
I'm just curious, Roman. How many girls had you made believe in your flattery before?
Carmina jested.
Don't you believe in me? That was before, but I am serious now.
A sadness twinkled in his eyes.
Hey, why so serious, Mr. Nice Guy? I was just kidding.
Roman just smiled at her, and he told Carmina to enter their rest house to relax for a while before his mother's celebration began. After a few hours, the simple party of Roman's mom started. There weren't too many guests because Roman's parents only invited family and a few friends in accordance with Doña Camilla's wish, Roman's mom. And in part of Carmina, she was so glad because Roman's parents are very kind to her, especially Doña Camilla. The lady even introduced her to their friends as their future daughter-in-law, even though Roman and her are not yet officially in a relationship. On the other side, Roman is currently talking with his dad, Don Leonardo Villaroman.
Is she the one, son?
His father asked him.
Yeah, she is. But I don't think I could win her heart. Tell me, Dad, is this my karma for playing with several girls before? I mean, I've been courting her for over a year now, but still haven't gotten a solid answer from her.
His dad slightly laughed and he tapped Roman's shoulder.
In a hurry? Just give her time. And if you really love her, you will wait no matter how long it may take. And just a piece of advice, son, don't take advantage of her. You know what I mean, don't you? Respect her as she deserves it. Even when the time comes she accepts you as her man.
Of course, Papa. I will love her, and I will respect her more than she deserves.
His father tapped his shoulder again.
I trust you, son.
After that, Leonardo left, so Roman went to the table where Carmina and his mom were talking, and he invited
go with
Carmina
me?
to go
I
with
just
him
wanna
near the
show you
coast
something.
because he wanted to show her something. When they were in the said place, the sun was about to set, and Roman remembered the last time he and Carmina watched the setting sun together. It's been 2 years since he saw a girl crying on a bench, and it's been 2 years since he started to feel a special affection for a girl, Carmina. Yes, it's been 2 years, because from that day on, Roman already fell in love with Carmina. Not just because Carmina is beautiful and smart, but he fell in love with her because Carmina has a special perspective and pure kindness in her heart.
Do you still remember the last time we watched the sunset together? You were crying that time.
Roman said while staring at the setting sun.
Of course I do. You handed me a handkerchief. I was broken that time, but you came and you took me out of the blue.
Roman turned to Carmina, and he looked at her eyes with full of love and sincerity.
No. You are the one who took me out of the blue. My life had no direction until you came along, and suddenly everything had changed. Carmina, from the very first time I saw you, I already fell in love with you. Not just because you are beautiful, but most important, it's you. It's what's inside your heart.
Carmina took a deep breath and looked up a bit to stare at Roman's eyes.
It's been 1 year since you became my suitor. I saw how you persevered just to show me that you love me. I hope I am not late to say that. I love you too, Roman.
Roman's eyes widened because of what he heard from the girl, and he seemed to be dreaming because he thought he would never hear that from Carmina after more than 1 year of courting her.
What did you just said?
Roman couldn't believe to what Carmina said, so he asked the girl to make sure he was not just dreaming. Carmina blushed, and she averted her eyes from Roman.
I said.
Carmina couldn't continue what she was going to say because she seemed like she had lost her courage to say the 3 words she had just said a while ago to the man in front of her.
What?
His heart is pounding so fast right now while he waits for Carmina's answer.
I love you too, Roman.
She finally got the courage to say those words to the man, and Roman, after hearing what Carmina just said, cried out because of so much joy he was feeling right now.
Yes. We're official.
Hey. What are you doing? Stop it, someone might hear you.
Carmina said while laughing.
I don't care if someone might hear me. You don't know how happy I am right now. Carmina. You've not just made me so happy, Mina, but you've also made my dream come true. I love you so much, Maria Carmina Santiago.
Roman said while looking at her with full of love and sincerity in his eyes.
You know what, Roman? After so long, I can now watch the sunset without sadness or tears in my eyes. And it's because of you. Thank you for turning my tears into smiles, but most of all, thank you for loving me more than I deserve.
Roman bowed slightly, and he stared at Carmina's with full affection while his reddened lips smiled sweetly at her.
Don't say that. You deserve this love, Mina. Because you are the only girl I can love like this.
Roman turned his gaze to a sinking sun before he spoke again.
Look at the setting sun, Mina. I promise you, from now on, you will never watch the sunset with tears in your eyes or sadness in your heart.
He turned to Carmina again and held both her cheeks while looking into her eyes.
Because from now on, I will be with you every time you watch the sunset, and I will make sure that every single moment of it, I will do everything to make you happy. This island witnessed that promise, Mina. And this island is the witness of our endless love. From now on, until our last breath.
And from now on, I will carry that promise in my heart. I love you too, Roman Leonardo Villaroman.
They kiss after, and the sun set thoroughly. When the night came, everyone was happy because apart from Roman's mother's birthday, Roman's family was also celebrating Roman's official relationship with Carmina. They liked Carmina for Roman, especially Doña Camilla, because since her son met Carmina, Roman has changed into a better man. He had learned to smile like never before, and most importantly, their only son had learned to fall in love with the woman that Roman saw his future with. Roman and Carmina are currently eating dinner at one table, facing each other, while Roman can't help but stare at the lovely woman in front of him, as if Carmina would disappear when he takes his eyes off her.
Don't take your eyes off me, and I'll melt.
Carmina jest.
Huh?
After hearing those words from Carmina, Roman just realized that he had been staring at his girlfriend for too long.
I'm sorry, I just can't take my eyes off you. Why, you're so beautiful in my eyes, ha. You are the only girl I could stare like this.
He smiled sweetly at Carmina. Carmina blushed slightly, but she didn't let Roman see that. And for the second time, she was really in love. But this time, with the right man in front of her.
You're being corny, Chief. You really don't have to flatter me, because I've already said yes.
Roman just slightly laughed, and he stood up and he laid out his hand to Mina.
Can I have this dance, gorgeous?
Carmina accepted his hand and smiled.
Sure, Mr. Nice Guy.
And they walked through the dance floor while they both held each other's hand. When they reached the dance floor, Roman grabbed Carmina's waist while Carmina clung to Roman's shoulder. They go along with Richard Kuhn's song, I'll Take Care of You, with a sweet dance while they just stared lovingly at each other.
I love you, Mina.
Roman whispered.
I love you too.
Roman even pulled Mina closer to him, so Mina almost hugged him, and then he quietly accompanied the song. And when Mina heard Roman's cold and beautiful voice, her heart throbbed so fast again, and she felt like her hair was so long because the most handsome and the man she loved the most was dancing sweetly with her and singing for her. While Roman's parents were watching them, they were both smiling, seeing their son so happy with the woman he loved the most.
Look at our son, sweetheart. I can't remember the last time I saw him so happy like that.
Doña Camilla said.
I'm so glad now that he found his true love. And believe me, sweetheart, the love that he feels for Mina will last forever.
Leonardo paused for a while before he continued to speak.
Because a Villaro man can only love once. And that would never end.
Leonardo said with no trace of lying from his eyes. Back to the new lovers who are still dancing, they both feel so comfortable with their position to the point that they only feel each other's presence even though there are many people around them.
Did you know that you are my first dance?
Really? It's my honor to be the first dance of the most beautiful girl in the world.
He smiled.
It's not just that. To be honest, you are also my first kiss.
Carmina shyly confessed.
I won't be surprised because I know that you were what we called a Dalagang Pilipina. That's why I fell in love with you. I mean, one of the reasons I fell in love with you. Well, I am the luckiest man.
Roman slightly laughed.
You might be, if you will remain to be faithful.
She smiled.
Look at my eyes. I love you so much, Mina, and I won't do anything that could break your heart. Yes, I was a jerk before, but that was before. Believe me, Mina, I love you, and trust me when I say I love you because I do. I really do.
Roman said passionately, full of sincerity, while his eyes were straightly looking at Mina's eyes. Weeks passed, and Carmina and Roman's relationship went well. The man is currently driving his car on his way to school, where Mina works to fetch the girl, which became his hobby after finishing his works in his office. When he arrived at the school, he just waited for his girlfriend to go out of her room, and when he saw Carmina carrying a lot of things, he walked towards the girl to carry Carmina's stuffs.
How are you?
Roman asked, and he gave Carmina a quick kiss on her lips.
Fine, how about you? How are you doing for the whole day?
She answered while they were walking to the car, holding each other's hands.
Well, like the same. I attended meetings.
Roman opened the door for Carmina, and after the lady got into the car, he went to the driver's seat and started the car. Carmina looked at him from the rearview mirror, seeing the tiredness of her boyfriend.
You must be so tired, yet you fetched me. You don't need to do this, hon. I understand that you're tired of working for the whole day.
Don't worry about me, honey, I'm fine.
Roman smiled at her.
You sure?
Yeah. And if it's okay with you, can we have dinner before I bring you home? You know I've been so busy the last few days, so I thought, why don't we take this time to have more time together?
Yeah, sure. Just take me where you want to eat.
When they arrived at the restaurant, they just ordered the food they wanted, and while waiting for their orders, they continued to talk about what had happened to them throughout the day. When their orders came, they ate together while Roman still couldn't help but stare at the gorgeous lady in front of him. He must be really in love with Carmina because wherever he goes, whatever he does, even in his office, he always thinks of his girlfriend. On the other hand, Carmina became comfortable with Roman's way of staring, as if she would leave him anytime.
You know what, hon? I've tasted a lot of coffee, but there's still one that really got my taste. Believe me or not, only your coffee suits my taste. You put magic on the coffee, don't you?
Roman gave her a witty smile, so she laughed.
You mean I put a potion on your coffee? I think I don't need to do that, honey. 'Cause you're so obsessed.
Carmina kept on laughing because in her mind, even though she didn't put a potion in the man's coffee, Roman was so in love with her because the way he looked at her, the way he took care of her, and the way he protected her even before, it's obvious that Roman was obsessed with her.
Fine, I admit it.
His forehead slightly furrowed because Carmina caught him again.
Am I the only girl who can caught you, Mr. Villaroman? You don't like it, don't you? No, wrong term. Of course you do, because it's obvious to your furrowed forehead, right, Chief?
Roman just took a deep breath, and he averted his eyes from Carmina because the girl was right. Carmina really knows his weaknesses. And of all of his past relationships, only Carmina could talk to him like that, and it was one of the things he liked about her because Carmina is very straightforward.
Why are you so harsh on me, Miss Santiago? You are the only one talks to me like that.
You may be the chief of many, but you're not my boss. You are my boyfriend, so why did you ask me? Why don't you just admit that you lose and I win?
She gave him a witty smile.
Fine, you win. You always win, Ma'am Mina. But it's nothing, because you can't annoy me, my dear. 'Cause you gave me pleasure when you laugh.
Roman smiled back. Unexpectedly, while they were busy eating and talking, a tall, sexy, and beautiful woman suddenly came and she walked towards Roman.
Hi my dear, how are you? It's been so long, huh? I'm sure you missed me.
The woman said directly that she didn't seem to notice Carmina's presence.
Oh hi Tessa. I'm good, how about you? By the way, this is my girlfriend, Mina.
Roman answered with a little smile on his lips. Tessa looked at Carmina, then she gave her a sham smile.
Oh hi Carmina. So, you are Roman's new girl, right? It's nice to finally meet you sis, I'm Tessa, his ex.
Mina felt annoyed with the woman because the woman's plasticity towards her was really obvious, added that she didn't like the last word of Tessa.
Shut up Tessa.
Why? Oh.
Tessa covered her mouth, but she really meant to infuriate the two.
Sorry Roman, I thought she knew about us. I didn't meant to say it. Well, Roman will always be Roman. As if I didn't know that you love playing with the girls?
She winked at Roman and she smiled, meaningful to him.
Let's go on.
Carmina was even more annoyed by what the woman was showing, and Roman noticed that, so he stood up and told Carmina to leave. As the two of them walked towards the car, Carmina ignored Roman until they got into the auto because she was really annoyed, and on the other hand, she was jealous.
Hey Han, what's wrong? Come on, it was nothing. Don't be like that.
Really? It was nothing for you? Open your eyes, Roman.
I know where you're coming from, Mina. She is nothing compared to you. She is just my past and I don't really care about her now. You are my present and I love you. Trust me.
Yes, I know. She is your ex, but she still wants you back. Well, I'm not surprised because I've read her messages to you, but I didn't say a word because I was waiting for you to mention it. In fairness, she's pretty and sexy, exact looks to what men like.
Roman took a deep breath, trying to find a word to say since this is the first time they argue. Then realizing what his girlfriend said, he laughed because he knew that Mina was jealous, so Mina's eyebrows rose.
Now I know where you're coming from. You're jealous, aren't you?
I'm not jealous. Don't be so assuming. For your information, Villaroman, you're not that handsome.
Roman laughed again.
Ouch. You're really harsh on me, honey. But seriously, Mina, don't feel that way. You have nothing to worry because she is just my past.
Roman stopped the car on the side of the road, then he looked at Mina, full of truth and love in his eyes.
What must I do to make you believe in me? I love you and I really do. Don't you trust me? Can't we just end this nonsense argue? Tell me, hon. I don't want to end this night like this.
Carmina paused for a moment before answering Roman.
What do you think? How could you change the situation knowing that your ex is disturbing us?
Roman took a deep breath and he looked at Carmina's eyes.
If you will let me, I'll marry you right now.
Roman said committedly to Carmina, and after hearing those words from Roman, she felt so astonished, wondering if she would believe him.
What did you just said?
She stammered while asking those words.
I'm waiting for your answer, Mina. It's either you will marry me right now or I'll marry you right now.
Carmina still couldn't speak because she could see in Roman's expression that he wasn't joking, referring to what he just said.
You're joking,
she replied, seeming to have lost all of her courage that she had a while ago.
I'm not joking, Mina. Say yes and I'll marry you right now.
Carmina shook her head and she turned to Roman.
Why are you doing this to me? Marriage is not a joke, Roman, so tell me why I will answer you yes?
What is the most significant thing to do to express your love to a woman? Isn't it marriage?
Roman drove his car again to a place where Carmina accepted him as her boyfriend, and after hours of driving, when they arrived at Isla Alonso, they got out of the car, and Carmina looked at him, confused about what his plan was. Roman took his hand and led Carmina to the coast, and when they came, Mina was surprised because it seemed like everything was ready. Imagine, a while ago, Roman was telling her to marry him, but now it looks like it will come true because of the setup of the place, though it doesn't appear to be complete yet.
How did you do this, Sir Chief?
Because of this.
Roman gave his cell phone to the girl, showing his text messages to his mom, who was the one organizing the whole venue for the both of them after receiving the message from Roman that he was going to marry Carmina tonight. Roman's mom approached the two, and she hugged her son and Carmina, who was about to be her daughter-in-law.
I'm so happy for the both of you.
Camilla said.
Thanks, Ma.
Roman smiled at her. After that, Camilla left and Roman turned to Carmina before he spoke.
I love you, Maria Carmina Santiago. You are the only girl I want to spend the rest of my life with, and you are the only woman I want to be the mother of my children. So if you will let me.
Roman took a box from his pocket and Carmina, after seeing that box, she was in shock and her tears began to slide down her cheeks. Roman kneeled down before the girl, and he pulled out the Bulgari's emerald diamond ring from the box.
In front of our loved ones and in front of God, Maria Carmina Luis Santiago, will you marry me?
Roman, while waiting for Carmina's answer, is feeling nervous about what she would say. Carmina wiped her tears and she smiled at the man kneeling down in her front.
I will.
It seems that a thorn in Roman's chest was pulled out when he heard Carmina's answer, so he put the ring on the woman's finger. He stood up with so much gladness on his face, and he hugged Carmina, and they kissed after while the crowds around them, who happened to be Roman's family, were all clapping and smiling. While they were in that position, feeling each other's presence as if they only exist in that place, Doña Camila and Aria, Roman's cousins, suddenly took Carmina from Roman's arms, and Roman was pulled away by the two men, Manolo, his cousin, and Samuel, Aria's husband, who were both as tall as him.
Hey, what's wrong with both of you?
He shouted at the two men, who pulled him away from his soon-to-be wife.
Chill, man. You will see her tomorrow.
Manolo said, and he and Samuel laughed at Roman. On the other side, Carmina was also shocked for what Camila and Aria did, and when the three of them came to one of Isla Alonso's hotel room, Carmina stared at Camila and Aria with confused look in her eyes. Camila seemed to read Carmina's mind, so she explained the reason why they took her from Roman.
You must rest now, dear. Tomorrow will be your wedding. I only let Roman propose to you tonight.
The lady smiled.
And regarding to the preparation, don't worry about it because Tita Camilla and I will take care of it. Everything was all set, Mina. Well, we're just waiting for Roman's signal because he told us your dream wedding and he wanted to give it to you. To be true, this is the first time I saw him so in love with a girl. You've changed him, Mina. You've changed him to be the best man he could ever be. Because of you, he had learned to smile, from a cold and rugged Roman when you weren't there in his life, to be the happiest and full of life Roman now.
Arya almost cried because of so much joy she feels for her cousin.
Thank you, Mama. You don't know how much this means to me. And also to you, Arya. Thank you for supporting us all the way.
I should thank you, Iha. Thank you for making my son a better man. Anyway, you rest now because tomorrow will be your day. Don't worry about your family, we'll take care of them. Our driver will fetch them tomorrow morning, and I've already talked to your father.
Tita Cams is right, you need beauty rest sissy, though you are already beautiful.
Roman's mama and cousin came out of the room, and Carmina, looking at her finger, still couldn't believe that she was going to get married tomorrow. She looked at the diamond ring on her finger, then suddenly a thought entered her mind. What if Roman was just stunned at asking her to marry him? What if he was not really ready to get married and he was just pressured because of her attitude after they left the restaurant? Carmina, thinking of those possibilities, felt like her heart was being stabbed because she knew in herself that she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it because she loved Roman so much that she is willing to give everything she had for the man. Only beep of her phone brought her back to the present, and when she opened it, she saw Roman's text message saying,
Good night, hon. I love you and see you at our wedding.
Then Carmina, after reading his message, all of her doubt disappeared, so she replied to Roman's message, saying I love you too, and see you. The next day, Roman woke up early and was supposed to go to his fiancée, but when his father saw
Where do you
him,
think you're
Leonardo
going?
stopped him and told him
To
he could not
Carmina,
see Carmina
Dad.
until the time
No,
of their wedding
you
because
cannot
of the
see her.
superstition that their family believed.
Excited?
His mom came and she handed him a cup of coffee.
I don't know, Mom. I feel so nervous right now.
Well, it's normal, son. Your mom and I are so proud of you.
Leonardo tapped him.
I still can't believe, sweetheart. Our baby boy is getting married.
Camilla slightly laughed and she hugged his son while Roman frowned because of what his mom said.
Can you please stop calling me baby, Mom? I'm getting married for good sake.
And Camilla, hearing her son's complaint, raised her eyebrows.
And why not, Roman Leonardo? You are just getting married, but I am still your mother.
Leonardo just laughed at them, then he put his arm around his wife.
Just give this day to our son, sweetheart. Come on, let's just go to the venue and see what is happening there.
The couple left and Roman just drank the coffee that his mother gave him. On the other side, inside the hotel room where Carmina and her parents are, they are talking about the unexpected marriage of Mina and Roman later.
Are you sure about your decision, Mina? I mean, it seems like your decision to get married was sudden.
Alfonso said, her dad.
Yes, Dad, I'm sure about this. In fact, Roman and I are no longer young and we're getting older, so why not we get married now?
I'm just worried, dear. You are our only daughter, and I don't want you to make a decision that you will regret after. I'm not against to the marriage of both of you, Iha, because I know that Roman loves you so much. What I mean is you still have time to know each other more before you step into marriage.
Your dad is right, dear. We're just worried about your decision.
Esperanza said, her mom.
Mama, Papa, don't worry about me. Roman loves me, and I love him too. I'm sure about this, and I'm ready to get married.
Carmina said, full of sincerity in her words.
If that is so, then follow what your heart says.
He tapped Carmina's shoulder.
I love you, sweetheart.
Esperanza hugged Carmina while the tears in her eyes started to fall. After they unclasped their hug, Carmina looked at her parents and smiled.
I love you so much, Mama, Papa. And don't worry, Dad. Even though I'm marrying Roman now, you will always be the first man I love.
Carmina hugged his dad and Alfonso hugged her back.
I love you, sweetie, and even though you are getting married now, you will always be my only baby girl.
After a while, Roman go to Carmina's parents to formally ask Carmina's hand to them, together with his parents.
Hi Espy, Alfonso. Can we talk?
Sure, what is it?
Roman has to tell you something, compadre.
Mayor Alfonso, Madam Espy, I know this is really unexpected. But I love your daughter so much. I want to spend the rest of my life with her and I want to build a family only with Mina. So if you will let me, may I ask your blessing from Mina's hand?
As Roman said those words, Espy and Camilla couldn't help but cry because of mixed emotions they feel.
Take care of our daughter, Roman. Please love her as she loves you and please, don't break her heart. And yes, you can take her hand now.
Roman, you have our blessing. But don't you dare make her cry, or else I'll take her back from you.
Alfonso said authoritatively.
I swear, Papa Alfonso. I will never make her cry. Because I will make your princess my queen.
Don't worry, compadre. I'll be the one to punch him if he hurt Mina.
Leonardo said, and they laughed after. A few hours later, Carmina did her makeup by the professional makeup artist that Camilla hired for her, while Roman was also preparing for their upcoming wedding. After they were done preparing, the wedding started and Carmina came out of her room wearing her elegant yet simple wedding gown, which further evoked her natural beauty and simplicity. And because their wedding was a bit far from the hotel room, Carmina rode in a Rolls-Royce Phantom owned by Roman, and when they arrived at the venue, she slowly got out of the car while there were cameramen taking photos and video of her. The arrangement of the venue is surrounded by Carmina's favorite flower petals scattered on the sand, to the tables arranged, covered with combined colors such as lavender and gold cloth, representing Carmina's favorite color and heart, with elegant flowers on its top, to the red carpet with a design of white cloth with a well-arranged bouquet of flowers on its side that are often seen in the church when there is a wedding, to the small stage in front of the venue with beautiful designs that fulfilled Carmina's dream back then when she got married, and their families who are smiling at her while Carmina's mother couldn't help but sigh because of the overwhelming joy she is feeling right now for her daughter. Carmina feels so nervous when she started to walk down the aisle, and her parents took her both hands to take her to Roman, who is stunned and mesmerized by the beauty of Carmina. And Carmina, seeing her soon-to-be husband so handsome in his tuxedo, and at the very moment when their eyes met, Carmina's heart beat fast, as well as Roman, especially when Carmina smiled at him. When they reached the altar, Roman took her hand, then bowed to Carmina's parents to pay his respects to the couple.
Take good care of my daughter, Roman.
I will, Papa. You are so beautiful, hon.
Roman said and smiled, and it seemed that his world had stopped for a moment, especially that the most beautiful woman in his eyes is now close to him.
Thank you, Mr. Nice Guy. You too, you're so handsome today.
Carmina smiled back.
Only for today?
Did I say it?
So you mean I look handsome for you every day?
Don't assume.
Carmina's eyes narrowed at him, but deep inside, she was really mesmerized by Roman's look, especially when she saw him smile. Afterwards, their wedding ceremony began.
Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Carmina and Roman, may you keep this message as you step into married life. And may you always put the Lord in the center of your marriage.
And when the sermon of priests was over, it's time to give their vows to each other. Roman started first, and he looked at Carmina, full of love in his eyes.
Mina, 2 years ago, my life was empty and I had no direction. I was nothing, and I was literally going nowhere. Then you came and took me out of the blue. You are the light that took me out of the dark, and you were my strength when I was weak. I was really a jerk before, but you came and changed me. I changed because of you, and I lived because of you. You are the reason of my smiles, and you are the reason why I live. You taught me to love and you taught me to believe in true love. God intended our path to meet that night, because He knows that you are the girl for me. You are the girl who will make my dream come true, and you are the only girl I want to spend the rest of my life with. Although you call me Sir Chief, and Mr. Nice Guy sometimes, I want you to know that I became a nice guy because of you. And I want you to always remember that it's you. It's you who will always be my chief, my boss and my world. It's you who will always be my brightest light, my strength, and my love. And as I promise you, till the very last sunset, you will never watch sunset with sadness and tears in your eyes. Maria Carmina, from this day forward, I vow to be with you in good times and in bad, to be true to you, to never give you any reason to cry, to love you more than myself, to fulfill your dreams as you have fulfilled mine, and to honor you all the days of my life.
Carmina, with teary eyes, she looked Roman full of love and sincerity in her eyes.
Roman, you always say that I am the light in your life. But you're wrong. Because you are the one who enlightened my world. I was broken then, but you healed my heart. You lifted me, and you turned my world around. You've been so patient with me for more than a year, although sometimes I am rugged to you. You are the man that every woman asks for, and God blessed me with such a wonderful gift because you came into my life. Now that we will become one, I vow to love you forever. To take care of you, as you always took care of me. To stay by your side in sickness and in health, to always make your favorite coffee when you wake up in the morning.
Carmina and Roman slightly laughed before Carmina continued her vow.
And I promise you, even if we argue, even if we're not okay, the taste of your coffee won't change, as my love for you will never change for the rest of our lives. We will watch the sunset together with smiles on our lips, and we will share happy moments together. I will try to be the best wife to you and to be the best mother to our future children. I promise to cherish you, to take care of you, to be faithful to you, to love you even more, and to only give my heart to you. Roman Leonardo Villaroman, I will honor you all the days of my life.
After expressing their vows to each other, the priest blessed them and told them to join their hands together.
You, Roman Leonardo Villaroman, do you take Maria Carmina Santiago to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and cherish until death do you part?
I do.
You, Maria Carmina Santiago, do you take Roman Leonardo Villaroman to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and cherish until death do you part?
I do.
And now, the rings.
The priest said so. The best man, Manolo, gave the rings to the priest and he blessed it. Roman placed the ring on Carmina's finger while speaking.
Maria Carmina, take this ring, as a sign of my love and fidelity, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And I take this.
She answered. Then she placed the ring on Roman's finger while speaking.
Roman Leonardo, take this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity, the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Roman and Carmina, may your marriage be filled with love, trust, and guidance of the Lord. May God bless all of you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Roman and Carmina, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Roman, you may now kiss your bride.
And Roman removed the veil that was blocking the face of his wife, and he gently pressed their lips together.
I love you, Mrs. Villaroman.
Ikaw lang
5 years ago, after their wedding, Roman and Carmina lived happily as a couple. Although sometimes they can't avoid misunderstandings, they resolve it quickly, and they don't let each other sleep with pique. Now they have a very cute and handsome 4-year-old son, Fonzo Leon, who looks like a carbon copy of Roman. Fonzo also gets his father's mischief. That's why sometimes Carmina can't help to shout, especially their son loves to play and run to the pool area when Carmina is not watching him. They are currently at their house in Hacienda Villa Roman, and Roman has just arrived from work, and even though he is tired from the whole day working in the office, he immediately plays with their son, who seemed to be very energetic playing with his dad.
Daddy, Mommy said she will buy me a new toy because I can read faster now.
Really? Very good.
Let your dad rest first, darling. Later you'll play.
Carmina said when she went to their living room, and she gave Roman a cup of coffee.
It's fine, honey, thanks for the coffee.
Roman just smiled at her. Carmina sat down next to Roman and she comfortably leaned on the sofa.
How's your whole day, hon?
Roman also leaned on the sofa, then he put his arm around his wife.
It's good, and fortunately Carmina Resort is almost done. Believe me, Han, if you see the whole view of the resort, you will love me even more.
Roman referred to the new resort he built for his beloved wife, which he named to Carmina.
Really, huh? So when can we see it? Because there was a naughty boy who never stopped talking and talking about what he was going to do when he went to the resort.
Their son looked at her and his handsome face frowned.
Hey, I'm not naughty.
The couple just laughed at their son's reaction. The child is also really smart because, at the age of 4, he knows a lot and he can already read and write because when Fonzo turned 3, Carmina taught him, and aside from that, watching educational videos became their bonding together since Carmina was a teacher.
Of course, baby. You are not just naughty, 'cause you are very naughty.
Carmina carried their son and she planted a kisses on Fonzo's both cheeks. The kid said while laughing out loud because apart from Carmina's kisses, she also tickling their son.
So cute.
She said after she stopped kissing and tickling their son and she pinched his cheek.
Of course. Like father, like son, honey.
Roman gave her a playful smile.
When I grow up, I want to be an engineer like Daddy. I will build houses and I will give them to the poor so they will never sleep outside anymore.
Roman and Carmina looked at each other, both surprised by what their son said, because they didn't expect their son to say it at his young age. Roman got Fonzo from his wife and he kissed his forehead, feeling so proud of his son.
That's right, baby. Be good to others, especially to the poor, and remember what always Daddy says?
Fonzo looked at him with a smile on his reddish lips.
Yes. Love the woman and don't hurt them because Mom will be hurt too.
Very good.
Roman stood up while lifting up their son and he started to turn around.
Let's go to my room, Daddy. Let's play.
You want to go to your room? How about to fly like Superman?
Don't you dare to do that, Villa Roman.
Carmina gave him a threatening stare because she always got nervous every time Roman does that to their son.
Don't worry, beautiful. Daddy's strong, right, baby?
After that, Roman ran to their son's room upstairs, so she got nervous again. But not long after.
Mommy, help me! Mommy, help me!
Darling?
Mommy, help me!
What happened?
She immediately ran upstairs, and when she came there, her heart throbbed so hard because Roman was laying on a floor with his right hand on his chest,
Oh God.
having a difficulty breathing.
Roman.
She promptly approached her husband and
Papa.
called for help because she couldn't lift him in
Papa.
view of the fact that Roman is much
Papa
bigger
Leonardo.
than her. Leonardo ran to them immediately, followed by Camilla, and when they saw Roman in that position, their faces was filled with worry.
Oh my. Hold on, son.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go to the hospital.
They took Roman to the nearest hospital owned by Carmina's mom, and when they arrived, the nurses assisted them right away, and they brought Roman to the emergency room.
Mama, please save my husband. Do something, Mama.
Carmina cried to her mother.
We'll do everything, my dear, don't worry.
Esperanza hugged her daughter and she went to the emergency room where Roman was. Carmina was about to enter the emergency room when the nurses stopped her, so she just leaned against the wall and her whole body seemed to be weakening because she was so worried about her husband.
God, please save my husband. You are the only one who can make him better, and you are the only one we trust the most. So please, I'm begging you, heal my husband.
She prayed in her mind as her tears continued to fall. Camilla approached her while the lady was also crying and she hugged her, and Carmina cried on her shoulder.
Mama, my husband.
Just pray, darling. Everything will be okay.
On the other side, Carmina's mother did what she needed to do to treat Roman's condition, and after a few minutes, when Roman felt better, she talked to him one-on-one.
Roman son, your heart is getting weaker. I think you need to talk to Carmina about this. You cannot hide your condition to her for long. You need her, she needs to be involved in this situation.
Mama, I don't want my wife to worry about me. She has gone through many pain and I don't want her to go through that again.
Esperanza held Roman's hand and she looked at him with sadness in her eyes.
But you need her. Trust me, you need your wife. It won't be easy for both of you, but we're here. We'll get through this. So please, let Carmina know your condition. Allow her to be with you all the way of the process.
When we got married, I vowed to never give her reason to cry. I vowed to love her more than myself. Mama, I love Mina so much and seeing her cry is my greatest heartbreak.
I understand. But when you got married, you not only vowed to hold each other in good times, you also vowed to be with each other through tough times. Allowing her to be with you through this hard situation doesn't mean that you break your promise to her. I know how much you love Mina, son, and I am so thankful about it. But this time, you need her, you need your wife.
Roman thought for a moment, realizing that his mother-in-law was right, so he took a deep breath before he spoke.
You're right, Mama. But I don't know how to start. How could I tell her knowing that this will be hard for her?
I'll be with you.
Esperanza pressed Roman's hand lightly before she came out of the room. When she got out of the room, Carmina stood up immediately when she saw her, and she hugged her daughter.
It's about time.
Esperanza said to Roman's parents.
Are you sure, Espy?
Carmina looked at them wondering what was really happening because they seemed that they only understood each other and she seemed to be the only one who didn't know what was happening.
What? What is really happening to my husband? Am I the only one who didn't know what was really happening? I'm his wife, so tell me. What is happening to my husband?
Carmina, full of tears in her eyes, couldn't help but become hysterical because she was really worried about her husband, but it seemed that she was the only one who doesn't have any idea about the real situation of Roman.
Come down, Mina. No. How can I come down, Ma? I don't know what was happening to my husband, so how can I come down? Of course I'm worried.
Mina, come down. Just listen first to your mom.
IHA, listen to me. And please, whatever you hear from me now, we want you to be strong.
Carmina became nervous even more because of what her mom said.
Roman was diagnosed by cardiomyopathy. It's a disorder that affects the heart muscle, causing the heart to lose its ability to pump blood well. Mina, he needs to undergo heart transplant, or else.
No. Mommy, no. Don't say it. Please, Mommy. I can't hear it.
Carmina cried even harder, so Esperanza hugged her and on her shoulder, she let Carmina cry.
Be strong, sweetheart. I know it won't be easy, but we're here. We will be with you all the way.
Esperanza said, while tears were falling from her eyes.
Your mom was right, Mina. You have to be strong. Not just for Roman, but also for Fonzo. You need to be strong for the both of them because in this situation, you will only be their strength.
Camilla said with teary eyes.
How can I? I can't lose him, Mama. I can't lose him.
You won't lose him, Carmina. We'll do everything we can.
We'll get through this, huh? We'll get through this, sweetheart, I promise.
Esperanza wiped the tears of her daughter and she hugged her again. After a while, when Carmina come down, she went to the room where Roman was, and when she arrived, Carmina couldn't help but cry, seeing her husband with oxygen on his nose, having a difficulty breathing.
Hey, don't cry.
Roman said when his wife came to him and hugged him.
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that you're sick?
Roman wiped her tears.
Because I know that would be your reaction. I don't want you to worry, Han, and I don't want you to cry. I begged Mama Espy not to tell you about my condition because I don't want to make it hard for you. Remember the times I wasn't able to go home and I told you I had a seminar? I lied to you, Han, I'm sorry. Because the truth is I was there. I was confined here for days.
No, don't be sorry. I am the one who must say sorry, because I wasn't there when you needed me the most.
Roman parted Carmina's hair to back of her ear, and he smiled sparingly.
Because you doesn't have any idea about what was happening to me. And I'm sure if you did, you'll be with me, so don't be sorry. Don't feel that way because it was my choice to hide this from you.
She held his hand and she pressed it gently.
Now that I do, I'll be with you all the way. I'll be with you, I promise.
Thank you, Han. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Carmina stroked her husband's hair.
We'll get through this. Mama said that you're gonna have to undergo heart transplant, and we'll do it. We will find a donor, Han. We will never give up till you get better. I will take care of you.
No. I don't want to undergo transplant, Han.
He said with finality.
But why? You need to undergo transplant so you will be healed. You will live longer with us when you do it. Are you already giving up?
There was no assurance that I will be healed if I undergo heart transplant. It's not 100% Han. I can't take the possibility. What if the operation fail? It will only shorten my life.
But we can still try. You have to trust the process and you have to trust God. Please, honey, for me and for Fonzo. We need you, our son needs you. He needs a father.
Han, you said it already. Our son needs me and you need me. What if?
Hey, stop that. We can pass this battle. Everything will be fine, you'll be okay.
I'll try. Not for myself, but for the both of you.
Weeks have passed and they are currently at the resort that Roman built for Carmina, celebrating their 6th wedding anniversary. Roman's condition was improving somehow, but sometimes he has difficulty breathing, especially when he is doing something. Carmina was always watching over him and their son, and she was very on hand to take care of the two, even though there were times she felt so weak, not just physically, but emotionally, especially when she sees her husband struggling with his illness. Carmina and Roman are currently sitting on the chair beside the pool where their son is swimming with his cousins, and they are smiling as they watch their son so happy in the pool.
I wish I could still see him grow.
Carmina suddenly looked at him and he smiled sparingly at his wife.
What did you just said? I don't like that talk, Roman. Of course you will see our son grow. You will be healed, Han, don't lose hope.
I don't want to be killjoy, especially today. But what if I'm not? Now I realize that life is really short. I'm still young, but I don't know how long I will last in this world, living with my family. So Han, I want to spend my remaining time creating happy memories with all of you. I want our son to grow keeping memories with his dad. Too bad I'm gonna have to leave him at his early age.
Carmina's tears started to fall while listening to her husband.
So you're already giving up?
She almost couldn't speak because of heaviness in her heart.
I'm sorry, Han. Please don't cry, it's our anniversary. Let's just be happy, okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Roman wiped her tears and he hugged his wife.
Just promise me that you'll be strong for us. Promise me that you'll fight for us.
Carmina said while she was in the arms of the man she loved the most.
I promise. I love you so much, Mina. I love you both so much. More than my life.
I love you too. We love you so much.
Hey lovers, come on, join us in the picture taking. And Mina, why are you crying? It's your anniversary, so you must both enjoy this day. Forget the problem, okay?
Alfonso said joyfully, so Carmina finally smiled and they both followed their dad to where their family were. They took pictures with their whole family and some relatives, and after their picture taking, they continued the celebration.
It's been 6 years but lovely as ever. How could I take my eyes with such a perfect woman like you?
He smiled sweetly at her.
Don't flatter me. I'm already your wife for 6 years.
She said, but her heart seemed to be jumping because of what her husband said. Roman bowed a little and he looked at his wife's eyes.
I'm not flattering you. I'm just telling the truth. Believe me, Han, I can't lie. Because a Villaroman does not know how to lie.
Carmina averted her eyes from Roman and she turned her gaze to their visitors because she doesn't want Roman to see her blushing.
Can I have this dance, my queen?
He laid out his hand to his wife and Carmina smiled before accepting his hand.
It's my pleasure, my chinito.
They danced sweetly along with their theme song, and while they were dancing, again, Roman sang, so Carmina heartbeat fast hearing her husband singing, and she suddenly remembered their first dance.
It was like our first dance. I can still remember.
Yeah, time flew so fast. You know what? I can't imagine my life now without you as my wife. I don't know why, but one thing is for sure. You are my life. Happy anniversary, honey. I love you.
Happy anniversary, I love you too.
I'll say it once more. You'll be in my heart.
After a while, Roman and Carmina go to their son in the playground, who's now playing ball with his cousins, and when Fonzo saw his dad, he invited him to join them.
Han, don't strain yourself too much. Just want to remind you, you are not allowed to get tired.
Roman just kissed his wife on her cheek.
I know, Mrs. Villaroman. Don't worry about me, okay? I'm fine.
Roman smiled, and he went to where the children were.
Your husband really loves kids, isn't he?
Arya approached her and she smiled before answering her.
He is. In fact, he always plays with Fonzo, especially now that he stays at home. Children are his happiness. But to be honest, I almost wanted to stop them whenever they played because of Roman's condition. I'm afraid that he might have a heart attack again, and I'm afraid that he couldn't make it when it happens.
Don't worry, Mina, everything will be okay. And you said there's still a way to treat his condition.
Carmina took a deep breath before she spoke.
Yes, but he doesn't want to undergo heart transplant, even surgery. I'm still trying to convince him, but he always says no. He always stated that there's no assurance if he undergoes either of the two procedures.
Carmina took a deep breath again before she continued.
If he goes ahead with the heart surgery or transplant, he had a 30% chance of surviving. But his decision was final. Honestly, I am also afraid for him to undergo operation because I don't know what will happen next if he takes it. But Mama said that she has a lot of patients, same as Roman's case, who undergo operation and they survived. But still, it's Roman's body, and although we want to try, we can't force him.
Maybe he was just scared to take the risk, Mina. He's not scared because of the operation, but he was scared that he may not survive the process and leave the both of you that fast.
That's why I lift everything to God. There were no nights that I didn't cry, especially when I thought about his condition. Yet I don't have a choice but to always stay strong because they need me, and nothing good will happen if I let my weakness win, even though there were times that I really wanted to quit.
Arya tapped her shoulder.
You can get through this. Just trust the process and keep your faith. Everything happened for a reason, and someday, you will see the answer.
Carmina just took a deep breath again, and they both watched Roman with the kids playing until they
Roman
both shouted and ran to where the children were because Roman suddenly fell down.
My God.
She immediately attended to her husband, who fell on the playground, and their parents followed, and Esperanza immediately performed what she needed to do since Roman still had a conscience and he just fell because of so much pain in his chest.
Take the kids out of here, Arya.
Arya followed Leonardo's command right away and took the children away from them while Roman was still being treated by his mother-in-law.
Get the car, Alfonso. We need to bring him to the hospital.
Alfonso was about to leave to get the car when Roman stopped him
No,
and told him
please.
to just stay.
No, I don't want to go to the hospital. I'll stay here.
But you need to go to the hospital.
Camilla said with teary eyes.
Just follow what your Mama Espy said, let's go.
said Alfonso with a trace of worry in his face.
Honey, please, don't be obstinate anymore. You need to be taken to the hospital, come on.
Carmina said while tears were falling from her eyes.
No, please. Don't bring me. I don't want to be treated anymore.
He replied, but after that the pain in his chest got worse and he almost couldn't breathe, so Alfonso and Leonardo along with Samuel lifted him and they brought him to the hospital. When they came to the hospital, the nurses assisted him, and they took Roman to the emergency room along with Esperanza, where they administered medication to Roman. After an hour, when Roman was getting a little better, they took him to the private room, while Carmina and her mother talked for a while about Roman's deteriorating condition outside the private room where Roman was.
IHA, we really need to proceed to the operation. His heart is getting weaker and I'm afraid that he couldn't take it anymore when he got an attack again.
But how about the donor, Ma? Where can we find a heart donor that fast?
Said Carmina while her eyes were still teary.
Don't worry about it, Mina. I've already found a heart donor compatible to Roman, so all you need to do is to convince him to undergo heart surgery.
I'll talk to him, Mama, please. Do everything you can to save him.
Esperanza hugged her daughter.
I promise. Don't worry, we'll get through this. Everything will be okay. Just trust God and His plan.
Thank you, Ma.
She wiped Carmina's tears.
I love you, darling.
I love you too, Ma.
They hugged each other again, and then Carmina entered the room to talk to her husband.
Han, how are you feeling?
She asked, and she kneeled beside the bed where Roman was laying.
I'm fine now, don't worry.
That's good.
She forced a smile despite the fact that seeing her husband in that situation stabbed her heart.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. I feel better now.
Han, can we talk?
About what? We're already talking.
I'm serious, and you even got to joke in this kind of situation?
They laughed.
At least I made you laugh. So what is it?
Han, I know that you don't want to, but you really need to undergo transplant. Your heart is getting weaker, and that's the only thing we can do for you to live. Honey, please, even if not for yourself, but for me and Fonzo.
And what will happen if I survive it? Han, I did some research and it says that there's a possibility that my personality will change if I proceed with a heart transplant.
Is that really your worry all along? Roman, I don't care if your personality might change. In fact, the possibility that you're pointing out is very small. Han, what is most important is that you live. You will live longer with us. No matter what happened, even if your personality changed after the operation, I will still love you.
You don't understand, Han.
What else I don't understand in this kind of situation? We need you to live longer, and that's the only way for you to do it, so why I don't understand?
Carmina, I would rather die loving you than live without my heart beating for you.
Roman said with finality while his eyes were straightly looking at Carmina's eyes. Carmina was stunned because of what her husband said, and her tears just shed because her heart was so touched by what he heard from Roman, so she immediately stood up from being kneeled on Roman's bedside and she hugged her husband.
I love you so much, Roman. I love you so much. God knows how much I love you.
I love you most, Mina. More than my life. So please, we have to accept it. I won't have a heart transplant, so please honey, just let me. Take me out of this hospital. I don't want to stay here for long just doing medications that only weakening my body. I know that it's going to be hard for us, and it's not fair to you. But I only want to spend my remaining energy and the most of my remaining time with you and our son.
Don't say that, please. I can't take it. You would shatter my heart if you leave me.
Carmina cried even more while hugging her husband because of so much pain she feels in her heart.
I'm sorry, Han. When we got married, I promised you that I wouldn't give you any reason to cry. But here you are, crying because of me. I know it's hard to accept, but that's life. We need to accept it. Just bring me to the island, please. Just bring me to where we started.
I will. We'll go to the island.
The next day, they went to the island as Roman wanted, and even if it was really hard for Carmina to fulfill his wish, still she did it, hoping that it would help her husband to get better, and at the same time, she still hoped that Roman might change his mind and find another reason to continue the operation to live. It's noontime and Roman was playing helicopter with their son, Fonzo, outside their house, while he's taking video until the kid got tired, so he brought him to his room to sleep. When the kid fell asleep, Roman just put the helicopter on its box and he just watched their son sleeping. He stroked Fonzo's hair gently and he kissed him in the forehead while Carmina was just watching them from the door, but she didn't let her husband know because she didn't want Roman to see her crying. She can see how much Roman loves their son and how much he spends his time with Fonzo doing such things that could make their son happy. And now, she cried again because Roman is talking to their son while she can see that his tears were already shedding.
Son, I know that you won't understand Daddy by now, and you don't understand our situation right now. But Daddy wants you to know that I love you very much. I love you more than anything in this world. But Daddy's sorry, son. Sorry, because Daddy won't see you grow. I won't see how you'll grow up because Daddy is not healthy anymore. And if I were just healthier, I wouldn't surely miss all of your special milestones, all of your special moments, and your mom. But that was just it. I'm not healthy anymore. I'm sorry, son. I'm really sorry because I'm gonna have to leave you so fast. I'm so sorry because you'll grow up without Daddy by your side. But son, I want you to know that every period of time I got to see you, I got to hold you, I got to play with you, I got to hug you, that I got to be with you and your mom, was the happiest years of my life. Every single moment that I got to be with both of you, was the most treasured times of my life. Not just the most. I love you so much, son, and I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, son. But hey, son. Don't worry because I know that you're gonna grow strong just like your mom. Because I'm sure that she will raise you to the best that you could ever be. Always listen to her, huh? Follow whatever she says because she knows what's best for you. Love her because she can be a daddy that I could never be. I love you so much, Fonzo. I love you, son.
Carmina heard everything that her husband said from the door, where she was standing all the time, and when she saw that Roman was about to go out, she went to the living room, crying that she almost couldn't breathe because of the heaviness she felt right now. Roman saw her in that situation, so he immediately approached his wife and he hugged her, and he just let Carmina cry on his chest.
Hey hon, why are you crying? What's wrong?
He asked while fondling his wife's back, and he wiped her tears.
It's nothing, Han, don't mind me.
Come on, tell me. It's impossible, it's nothing. I know you Mrs. Villaroman.
I saw you taking video when you and Fonzo playing, Han, and I heard you talking to our son. Why are you doing this? Why are you talking to him like you're gonna leave him?
He wiped her tears again, and he sadly looked at his wife.
Don't cry, please. You're breaking me.
He said while wiping Carmina's tears.
And you're breaking me even more.
She can't help herself to shout because she already didn't know what to do and what to say to keep the pain inside her, and added the fact that her mom already said yesterday before they discharged Roman in the hospital that he could only live less than a month because his heart was no longer functioning well.
Don't you know that every time you are feeling weak, every time you are having a difficulty to breathe, and every time you fell on the ground because of that unacceptable sick of yours? Roman, I was shattered into million pieces. Because every time you're afflicted, it hurt me so much. It breaks my heart. And now I'm afraid, I am so afraid that you'll leave us, because I can't take it. 6 years was so fast, Han, and you are too young. So please, be strong for us. Live for us, Roman, I'm begging you, live for us.
Roman smiled sadly at his wife.
You don't have to beg, Mina. Because if only I could change the situation, if only I could make things fair for us, I would. But that was it, and we can't change it. I want to live longer for you and for Fonzo, but only God holds my life. Just trust him and his plan. No matter what happened, I love you, and believe me, I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to hold on because of you and our son. I almost went insane and I cried every time the thought of leaving both of you entered my mind because I am so afraid. I am so afraid to leave you that fast.
Carmina hugged him, felt so sorry because of what she said a while ago.
I'm sorry, Han, I shouldn't said it. I'm so sorry. I know how much you are trying to be strong for us.
Hey, don't say sorry. Look at my eyes. I love you so much and you have nothing to say sorry about. But Han, please. I know it's hard, but we need to accept it. Let's just be thankful because we had a chance to be together even for a short time. Let's just accept my faith, okay? Yes, it's not easy, but the sooner we accept it, the sooner we will all be fine. I love you, and I'm sorry.
I love you too.
And they kissed after. Days had passed and Roman's condition was getting worse, but still, even though how much Carmina and their parents tried to convince him to take a surgery, his decision was still. His body was getting weaker, and he usually stayed at their room. He is currently laying on the bed with his wife hugging him, and they just finished watching the video of their wedding, and some videos of their bonding with their son.
It was like yesterday when we got married. But look at us now, our dreams are gradually coming true. I can clearly remember how hard I went through when I was courting you. Yet it was all worth it just to hug you today.
Roman leaned over and hugged her.
Yeah, you're so determined to get my yes. I don't regret that I accepted you because I won't be happy as I am now if I didn't. You may be not my first love, but you are the first man who made me feel so special and loved. Well, we're just quits because you were my first kiss and first dance. You got everything.
They slightly laughed.
You know what? I hope when Fonzo fall in love, I hope he sees a woman like you. I hope he sees a girl who is strong as and loving as you.
You already said that for 100 times. But to be true, I want him to be like you when the time he fall in love. I want him to love as you loved me, and I want him to respect his woman as you respect me.
Fonzo is really the little me, so for sure he will. Look at him. Especially his face. Little Roman.
Roman gave her a witty smile.
Excuse me? I have a contribution to his genes.
I didn't say none. But still, whether you admit it or not, his face is more likely mine.
Carmina's eyes narrowed at him.
You're so brag. Thanks to me because I am the mother of your son, and I'm pretty because if I wasn't, poor you because your son is ugly.
He parted her hair to back of her ears, and he smiled.
I'm always thankful because you are the mother of my son. You are not just beautiful outside, but you are more beautiful inside. I am so blessed because of you. You are the best thing that happened in my life, hon. You and our son are my greatest gift from God.
Honey?
Roman couldn't continue what
Honey?
he was supposed to
Oh
say
my
next,
God.
because suddenly
Mama.
his chest ached
Help.
that he almost couldn't breathe.
Mama.
Carmina immediately stood up and called for help
Mama.
while her heart was throbbing so hard, seeing her husband in that situation. Esperanza and Camilla went inside the room after hearing Carmina shouting for help, and Esperanza
breathe,
immediately
Roman.
administered
Relax your
medication
body.
to him, but the pain became worse, so Carmina ran to Alfonso and Leonardo in the garden to bring Roman to the hospital. They helped Roman to sat on a wheelchair, but when they about to bring him to the car, he stopped them.
No. That's enough. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm tired.
Roman, come on.
Don't be obstinate, Roman. You need to be treated in the hospital.
No, I don't want to go to the hospital anymore. That's enough. I'm tired.
But you need to. I'm begging you, son, please. Let's go. I can't lose you. Please, Roman.
Son. Please. Let's go.
Leonardo tried to bring him inside the car, but Roman refused again.
Han, please. Don't make this hard for me.
Guys, that's enough. Please, just one last request. Let's stop this. Let's just accept my faith.
Roman said while he still couldn't breathe fine. He turned to Carmina and he held the hand of his wife before he spoke again.
Just bring me to the coast, please. I want to watch the sunset.
His eyes were pleading, looking at his wife. Even though it was difficult for her, Carmina just nodded and took her husband to the shore where they often watched sunset together. When they were in a place, they sat down on a bench and Roman leaned on his wife's shoulder.
It all began in this place. The place that witnessed our love and our vows to each other. I promised you that you will never watch sunset with sadness or tears in your eyes, and I want to fulfill that promise even for the last time. I am so happy when you accepted me as your man, but I became the happiest man when you married me and you gave me a son. You've been the best wife and best friend to me for the past years. You've been my cheerer when there were times that I felt so down, and you always gave me strength when I was weak. I know that there were times that you felt so tired, but still, you chose to be strong for me and for our son. You had gone through many pain and tears, but here I am, making you cry and causing you pain again. I'm so sorry, Han. I'm sorry for everything. And even for the last moment I get to be with you in this place, I want you to know that I love you so much. I love you more than my life, and I will always love you wherever I may go. I may leave your side now, but in your heart, I will be with you always. Thank you for everything, honey. Thank you for taking care of me, and for never giving up on me. Thank you for being someone to watch over me, and most of all, thank you for loving me so much. I'm tired, Han. And if there's one last request, Han, please take care of our son. Take care of our loved ones and please, take care of yourself. Be happy, Han, even if without me. I love you so much, Carmina. I love you more than my life.
Carmina took a deep breath before she spoke, trying to hold her tears from dripping.
Years ago, I thought I would never love again. But you came, and you taught me to love you. You healed the wound in my heart, and you showed me how beautiful life was. You filled the big void in my heart. Because of you, I've never known to be sad anymore. You filled my life with smiles and so much love that I only dreamed about before. You've not just made my dream come true, but you've turned around my whole life too. Fonzo and I are so lucky because God blessed us with a man like you. Thank you, Han. Thank you for bringing unconditional joy into our lives. Thank you for turning my tears into smiles, for turning my hate into love, but most of all, thank you for giving me reason to live. Now I know why God brought me to this world. He gave me the answer when I became your wife and when I became a mother to Fonzo. Because I lived not just for myself, but I lived for you and our son. No words can express how much I love you, Han, and there's nothing I wouldn't do to express how much I love you.
She paused for a second and she took a deep breath before she continued.
They always said that if you really love someone, you have to learn to let him go, even if it would break your heart. I love you so much. I know how much you suffered, how much you fought to live, and how hard you tried to be strong for us. Thank you for fighting so hard to live, Han, but I know that you're tired.
She wiped her tears and kissed her husband.
Don't worry about us, Han, don't worry about me. I'll be okay. We'll all be okay, Roman. And for the last time, you have fulfilled your promise. I love you so much, and I'm letting you go. You can rest now, my love, you can rest now. Goodbye, Roman, goodbye, my man.
Roman, hearing those from his wife, he took one last deep breath, and his eyes closed completely, and the sun set thoroughly.
Asahan mong ako'y di hahadlang habang ikaw ay maligaya, ako'y maghihintay maging hanggang sa dulo ng walang maging hanggang
A year had passed and many things had happened in their lives since the day that Carmina almost stopped living because of an incident that is still fresh in their minds till now. Her world almost collapsed, but she forced herself to be strong not only for herself, but for their son and for her husband. It was not easy for her to go on as well as for their family, but they chose to keep their faith. They let God fix everything that broke, and heal everything that hurt because that was their strongest weapon, their trust and faith. They returned to Isla Alonso to celebrate Carmina's birthday, and when noon came and the sun was about to set, she went to the coast where she and Roman used to watch sunset back then, and she just stood up on the shore, feeling the cold and fresh air caressing her skin. She misses her husband so much. She misses Roman so much that she always cries at night every time she misses his hugs, his kisses, his voice, and most of all, she really misses the way Roman take care of her.
I love you, Romain. I miss you so much.
She shouted, never minding that people might hear her, because for her, she didn't care if many would hear her shout just to express her feelings for her husband. Fonzo approached her and he gave her a bouquet of her favorite flower, and he smiled at her.
Mommy, Daddy says he loves you too.
She took the flower and she kissed their son.
I love you too, Carmina.
She slowly turned to where the very familiar baritone voice came from, and she saw the tall and handsome man who was smiling at her, standing a few feet away from her wearing a black long sleeve folded up to his elbow, white pants, and black shoes on his feet. She immediately ran to him, and when she reached the man, they hugged each other tight while Carmina's tears shed again, but this time tears of joy and fulfillment, because the man she'd been longing for was already there, hugging her.
I miss you.
Yes, Roman is still alive and healthier than before, because when he closed his eyes and Carmina saw that he was almost over, she realized that she couldn't really let him go, so she called for help, and they took Roman to the hospital immediately, where Esperanza, with other doctors, did a successful heart surgery on him, and he doesn't need a heart transplant anymore because after the operation and some tests, he was really fortunate because he was completely healed. God healed him and gave him another chance to be with his beloved family.
What took you so long? I thought you already forgot this day.
Of course not. How can I forget your birthday? This is the day I am most thankful for, because this is the day that the woman I will love forever and the woman I will be with for the rest of my life was born. There were no days that I didn't think of you when I was in America.
He kissed his wife.
Don't leave that long again. I miss you, and this baby.
Carmina held her tummy and smiled, while Roman was shocked for a moment.
Is this true? You're pregnant again?
Carmina nodded, and Roman, with teary eyes, bent down and kissed the small bump on the tummy of his wife.
God, this is the best gift.
He stood up and hugged his wife again.
I love you, hon.
I love you too, Roman. My miracle.
They unclasped their hugs and Roman slightly bowed down, and he looked his wife full of sincerity and love in his eyes.
You are my miracle, Mina. Because of you, I lived. You never gave up on me, even though I've already given up on myself. Thank you, Mina. Thank you for never giving up on us through the past year. We've been through a lot of pain and trials, but still, you held on and you stayed strong for us. All the hurt was all worth it just to be with you today.
Carmina took a deep breath and looked at her husband with same love and sincerity in her eyes.
I thought I could really let you go that time. But I was wrong. I couldn't let you go because I would die with you. God gave us another chance to be together because he knows that if I lose you, I'll also lose myself. And he wouldn't let it happen because he knew that Fonzo needed us, and now, this angel inside me.
They smiled while their eyes were teary, and they kissed.
I love you so much, hon, and happy birthday.
He said after their kiss, and he put his arm around his wife.
Thank you, honey.
Don't thank me yet, beautiful.
He smiled at her.
Fonzo? Come here, baby.
He called their son, and when the kid came closer to them, Roman whispered on his ear, so Carmina looked at them with confusion in her eyes. Fonzo handed his dad a small box and he ran to his grandparents a few away from them, so Carmina looked at their parents who were all smiling at her, and when she turned to Roman, her tears started to slide down because Roman kneeled before her, and pulled out the gold ring, surrounded by white diamonds in its stone from the box.
Roman.
When I was a young boy, I promised to myself that when I found a girl I'd marry her, not just once. Then you came and we got married 7 years ago. Mina, you are my answered prayer. You are my greatest blessing, and you are my greatest love. My sadness ends from where you've started. Carmina, my heart is only yours. That if it is not yours, it does not belong to anyone, isn't you? You are the girl I ask for, and you are the only girl I want to marry over and over again. I will never get tired of marrying the girl of my dream, and it's you. Now, Mrs. Maria Carmina Santiago Villarroman, I want to ask you again. Can I fulfill this promise with you? Will you marry me again?
With teary eyes, Carmina accepted the ring and she nodded.
Of course.
Roman put the ring on Carmina's finger, then he stood up and they hugged each other, while Roman's tears started to fall, and he whispered,
Thank you. I love you more than my life.
I love you too, more than my life.
Carmina answered, and they kissed along with the sunset.
Ngayon at kailanman, sumpa ko'y ibigin ka. Ngayon at kailanman, hindi ka na mag-isa. Ngayon at kailanman, sa hirap mo ginhawa pa, asahang may kasama ka, sinta.
Wagas ngayon na kailan